Hello, good day everyone. I want us to look at the process by which a gas is converted to liquid state. And before we go to that, let's have a brief understanding of what happens before that, or what should be considered before that. We must understand what matter is. Matter is just anything that has mass and can occupy space. We have three basic states in which matter exists. We have solid, liquid, and gas. But since matter cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed from one state to another. There are processes that are involved in matter transformation, in which we are going to be looking at one of them. The processes include melting, freezing, evaporation, sublimation, and condensation. And we are going to be looking at condensation. Like I said, condensation is a process by which matter in gaseous state is transformed to liquid state. What you should know is liquids have more intermolecular forces. Their intermolecular forces are stronger compared to gases, and that is the reason why in liquids there is a limitation to their movement, of its molecules, a limitation to their float. But in gases there is no limitation. They can move at very high they can move at will. They move randomly. What happens is, let me give you an instance now. Assuming you have somebody holding your hand very tight, and then the other person is holding the other of your hand, but that one is not as strong as the one holding your right hand side. You will see that your hand, you will not even be able to move your right hand, but because the left hand is not that the person holding your left hand is not holding it that strong, you may be able to move it a bit. This is the difference between gaseous and liquid state. In liquid, the gas molecules in liquid, the molecules are held together by intermolecular forces that are stronger compared to gases, therefore limiting the level at which the molecules will move. But in gases, it is not like that. They are freedom to move. That is why if you have a 20 liters gallon and put 10 liters of water, this water we use to bathe, the water is in liquid state. So if you put 10 liters of water in 20 liters container rather, you see the level at which the volume of the water, you can see it. You can see how empty the remaining space will be. That is for water. For gases, if you carry a 20 liters container or jerry can and pour the gas of, let's say, 5 liters, it will still fill up the whole container. This is to tell you how free the molecules are to move. Now, what makes molecules to move? When they have anything that moves, the movement of molecules or objects is determined by their kinetic energy. And then the kinetic energy of every system, or the kinetic energy of the molecules of the state, the molecules of substances in different states of matter, is determined by the temperature. When you increase the temperature, the molecules become so unstable and then start vibrating. As they are vibrating, they are producing kinetic energy. It's just like maybe you are feeling cold and then you set fire, you want to warm yourself. You sit close to the fire. When the heat generated from the fire radiates and reaches you, and the intensity of the fire is increasing, the heat will also be increasing. At a point, you will not feel comfortable again. Maybe you shift from the initial position backward, giving more space between you and the fire. This happens here. When you increase the temperature, the molecules become unstable and they start vibrating, creating more kinetic energy. So when you increase the temperature, the molecules gain more kinetic energy and hence they move more freely. But when you reduce the temperature, the kinetic energy also drops and then the movement also drops. The intermolecular forces are weak when the temperature is high, but they become stronger when the temperature is low. Now, matter in gaseous state, for you to bring it to liquid state, you have to reduce the temperature. Once you reduce the temperature, the movement of molecules, the free movement of molecules is restricted, and then the molecules you can then compress them, you can bring them together closer to each other. And the closer the molecules are to each other, the stronger the intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces are just the forces holding the molecules together, the forces that exist between the molecules of a substance. So if you bring the molecules closer, the intermolecular forces will become stronger, and then such matter will exist in different states. Assuming maybe you have molecules that are moving freely, that is in gaseous state, and you are able to bring them together by bring them closer to each other, the molecules closer to each other, by reducing the temperature and the kinetic energy, and then you are able to compress them. What you experience will be liquid, because it's liquid that have their molecules move with less degree of freedom, but gases, they have higher degrees of freedom. So when this happens, you feel, before you succeed in compressing the molecules, you must reduce the temperature. When you reduce the temperature and compress the molecules, you feel cold. When you feel the molecules, you experience that the molecules are cold when you touch them. This is the principle that the refrigerator uses too. The refrigerator has a compressor which tries to compress the molecules of a substance that is introduced in it. This substance, at initial stage, when you put them in the refrigerator, their temperatures are high. This means that the molecules are moving. They are moving. So when they are moving, what the compressor does is it tries to reduce the temperature. Once you reduce the temperature, the molecules loses some kinetic energy and try coming closer to each other. And as they are coming closer to each other, they are building a stronger intermolecular forces. And then you see substance in a different state. If you keep compressing it, it will result to from liquid to solid. Maybe at gaseous state you compress them back to liquid state. If you keep reducing the temperature, the more you reduce the temperature, the more the molecules are coming together, coming closer to each other. So at a point they will form a solid. In the case of water, which you see as ice. So I'll be dropping this kind of videos from now on. So if you feel free to ask questions, anything you in physics you think you are confused about, you can ask me. I can make a video about it to make clarifications. Thank you.